right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mic Check episode 4 now.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
One every quarter.
Yeah. I would like to say we're busy, but I feel like our team's busier than us.
Absolutely.
So getting us all together is not always the easiest, but honestly here, 2024, looking to have a good time.
Yeah, man. First episode of the year here once again at Vision Room. Shout out to the boys at Vision Room, Junga and AJ, always hooking us up with what we need. And they're recording the podcast as well today.
Yeah, man. Shout out to these guys. If anybody needs an event, anything they need to get down, Vision Room Studios is the place to do, right here in the heart of Brampton.
All right, perfect. Now this is for free, Junga. I'm not paying you the money. All right, so you just celebrated a birthday, Navi. The big 3-2. 3-2. Oh my God. All right.
32, buddy.
How was your birthday? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the party, although we did hang out after.
Yeah,
how was
fake
the party?
friend over here.
Oh my God.
Fake friend over here.
No fake friends. No fake friends. How was the birthday party?
That was a good time, man. I was good. I felt my age.
Yeah.
Felt my age a little bit. I did a family thing. That was fine, fire. That's, everybody come to the house. But doing a club in Toronto and popping bottles is
expensive.
Harder to Yeah. And, it's all good. I had a friend coming in from out of town. She was celebrating her 30th. So I was like, you know what? Like, going last time, I didn't really get to pop off in the end of my 20s because of COVID.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, cool. Why not? One more time. And it was a good time. Went to Mahjong in Toronto. It was a fire. Drinks were drunk. Dancing was dance.
Yeah.
Got a surprise champagne bottle at some point.
Very cool.
That outfit had to go into the wash immediately the next day because I smelled like liquor.
That's it. So this friend that came in from out of town, a special friend or?
Stop.
No comment? No comment?
No. Just fucking had friends in from out of town.
Okay. All right.
I don't sleep with everybody like some people we know.
Not me. I don't know. I'm married. So.
No,
all good. All good.
Around.
Happy you had a good birthday. Let's cheers to your birthday, even though you just had a sip. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Hopefully you wish for more episodes this year and we can execute.
Yeah. All right. Yo, you just don't be so busy. We'll get this stuff done.
Yo, we'll get it done. We'll put it out there. Appreciate everyone who supported so far. But speaking of parties, obviously you had a birthday party. I assume it wasn't a Diddy style birthday party.
No, thank you. No, everybody was of age.
Good.
That's, not the style
allegedly.
Fuck you, allegedly. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Hopefully the bouncers did.
Don't even put my name next to his name. I don't even play. If a DJ plays his song at a party we're hosting, I'll just walk out of the room. I'm like, I can't be fucking associated.
Yo, that's a big part of everything that's going on. Obviously, let's explain it for those who've been, hiding under a rock or something. So the Homeland Security and DEA raided Diddy's houses in Miami and LA. This whole investigation is actually coming out of the state of New York, the Southern District. It looks like they detained, not arrested. There's a difference. His kids, and Diddy was at the Miami airport when they raided both homes. I don't know if he was trying to leave the airport, but what the hell else are you doing at the airport? And Homeland Security, obviously.
Here's the thing. If you're accused of doing some foul shit and you jump on a plane and leave the country, doesn't look too good if you are innocent. I don't think he is, but you know what I mean? He's just we haven't heard a statement. He's probably has lawyers and shit. Nobody's just hey, by the way, we didn't do this. These are allegations. They're just you know what? Let's leave the country with 50 cents baby mama and fucking just leave. By the way, I've come to the realization, if you're famous or you have some sort of clout, if you're at the top of your game, you've done some shady shit. Everybody who's famous, but you don't really hear anything about them, they're usually the ones that didn't get into the foul shit. They're yo, we can't partake in this ridiculous debauchery. 50 Cent's just been saying for years, this guy's foul.
Yeah.
This guy tried to take me shopping and pay for my shit. That's weird. I'm also very rich.
Yeah.
And then Cat Williams came out, did his podcast, a couple of things with Club Shay. And then he's just yeah, you know what? You hear some things, and he's also very successful, but he's not top dog in his industry because he likes people over the age of 18.
Also, Cat didn't wear a dress, as he said. So,
yeah,
no, that was a big thing. But yeah, so Diddy is there's a narcotics case against him, gun trafficking, and then of course the worst one that's making the most noise is of course the sexual trafficking. Now, there hasn't been anything confirmed that the sex trafficking that's been going on or allegedly been going on. We got to keep using that word today because we don't want any lawsuits.
No, fuck that. He did that shit. I don't give a fuck. What? Are you wild? Hey, I'm on the side of the victims. Don't fuck. Whatever you want to say, allegedly. I get it. There's no hard proof. There's like a voice note with him and like Meek Mill fucking apparently. Like it's wild. There's audio clips. There is foul shit. But there's even like more and more evidence coming out. There's people like, there's like, I don't know who, they were on a talk show. Him and Tyson were on a talk show.
Yeah.
And this guy like tried to hold Tyson's like hand on air or something.
Oh.
And then like Tyson just kind of like moved away, like squared up with them on a couch. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's suspect. That's suspect. Like him and Justin Bieber spent 48 hours alone together when he was like 14. Suspect.
That's
super suspect.
Yeah, that's super suspect.
If you have that much like evidence against you, I don't care if it's circumstantial. Yeah. You did something fucked up.
Well, they took all the hard drives, the laptops, iPads, all of that stuff out of his house. So let's see what's going on. Now, there is a conspiracy theory out there that basically his 1999 gun charge during that and how he got out of it is he became a FBI informant. So a snitch basically, or a rat. And he's been able to do whatever the hell he wants for the last 20 years because he's been recording shit that's been going on with these celebrities at his crazy ass parties in Miami and LA and feeding information to the FBI. So, I mean,
but I've never heard no crazy arrest story. No, like, oh, this celebrity did this other foul shit. Like, what kind of information was he giving them?
Well, there's at these huge celebrity parties, there's obviously drug dealers and kingpins and other people going on. You know, that's always been the case, right? Celebrity and gangster have always been kind of intertwined. No, so how do we know?
Again, if a celebrity's quiet, I trust them more now. Like Denzel Washington said, he's like, I can't remember what younger actor he said it to, but he was like, hey, you need to like leave before the devil shows up at these parties.
Oh, he said it to Will Smith when the day Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
No. So that, similar quotation, but there's like a younger actor, like I can't remember his name exactly.
Okay.
But he was just like, yo, you need to like leave these parties. Like showing face ain't no problem and like connecting.
Yeah.
But before the devil shows up, you need to get out of there. So before all like the foul debauchery ends. Like same thing with like any party that happens in Toronto when we do like networking. It's like, all right, cool, the networking's fun and the partying's all good. But you'll notice like older crowd kind of leave. And then obviously there's the people who like to party and we stay behind. But on the extreme case for them, like illegal shit was going down.
Yeah.
And like, obviously like foul stuff was happening. So like, that's the sick thing. Like Denzel, top of his game for his whole career kind of thing. You never even like hear a whisper about this dude.
Nothing.
There's no like, oh, he was seen here. Oh, he did that. Or he's affiliated with thing. He was just like, all right, cool. I'll come hang out for like 10 minutes and bye.
Yeah. I mean, another kind of theory that's out there, or it's been percolating for a while, is basically in America, I mean, outside of Denzel, he is the anomaly, really. Any black man who gets to the top of his profession, especially in the entertainment industry, but Tiger Woods is another example in the sporting industry. Kobe had the case, rest in peace, Mamba. Basically, once they get to the top, there's a controversy that brings them down. And we've seen that. I mean, R. Kelly, obviously, you've seen it with Diddy now.
Yeah, I just think you have to be talented enough to be forgiven is what's been the trend.
Yeah.
R. Kelly, not talented enough.
Well,
Michael Jackson.
Whoa, I'm going to debate you on that. R. Kelly's music, I know we don't bump it anymore, but come on, everyone was bumping to Ignition.
I'm not saying it's not good. Remix. He's just not talented enough to be forgiven. So off to jail you go.
Okay.
Michael Jackson, he was really good at walking backwards, forgiven. You know, music was fire, obviously.
Yeah.
He didn't even get a documentary about all his shit until 10 years after he was dead. That's how talented Michael Jackson was.
Finding Neverland.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't watch it. It was gross. I think it's super bad. It's just like, it freaks me out. But yeah, all that kind of stuff, like Tiger Woods, when he was winning all those PGA tours and he was the best golfer in the world, didn't hear a single thing. His game dipped for like a year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, oh, this guy's like a notorious cheater. And I was like, all right, cool. What have you done for me lately? And it's just.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the talent aspect is definitely one perspective, but you have seen it over and over and over again. Kanye, obviously, infamously. Now there's a thin line between genius and the other side, or the opposite of genius, but he was brought down too. They've all been brought down at some point, some way or somehow, outside of the anomalies, like Denzel or Jay-Z. Although, let's see what happens with Jay-Z with this Diddy thing. There's rumors out there too.
You can say rumors as much as you want until I like see like he's never like, other than his affiliation with R. Kelly, I never seen like, again, nothing's really ever came out. Like people been talking shit about Diddy for years. Like this guy's like a weird guy. Like he was involved in like Tupac's murder and all that kind of stuff. Was like, it's always been kind of there. Like that kind of stuff hasn't been there with like Jay-Z, other than his affiliation with R. Kelly. And then what was the other guy that founded Rockefeller?
Dame Dash.
So Dame Dash has talked about that, and he's talked like, hey man, like that's why I don't really fuck with Jay-Z anymore, because him and Aaliyah were like engaged to like get married, or they were like really tight and close. And
Dame and Aaliyah.
Yeah. And then that's his reason that he cut off from Jay, and Rockefeller was like, yo, like
How you
Like,
fucking
how you still fucking with this guy?
with
kinda
R.
thing.
Kelly? Right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Well, that's not. I mean, the real reason was business, and Jay-Z basically took the business from under his feet.
Sure,
the whole
whatever.
Rockefeller
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Records,
there's multiple things, whatever. Like I said, we weren't there. I don't fucking know.
yeah,
But I think it's more so just this whole thing is just like skeeved me out because like I'm seeing it more and more of the sense of like people who are creative geniuses or just geniuses in general have a quirk. You don't get that good at something without fucking giving up part of your like even us to a degree. Like I'm not saying like we're bad or doing anything illegal.
allegations go on, man.
But I'm saying is like we can do what we do because we're not like a HR manager. Like a dude who lives like a 9-to-5 life, this and that. He doesn't have the like quirk that we do to do the weird stuff that we do and the jokes that we make and the lines that I cross when I do like stand up or whatever I do.
Yeah.
Or when I'm writing something or handing with it. These guys are creative geniuses and that comes with like, hey, apparently sometimes with real foul shit and real temptations. And these guys are doing, and they have all this power because they become famous for it. They think they can get away with it. Stephen Hawking was on fucking Epstein Island.
Yo.
That dude was one of the smartest people of all time. And that dude was fiddling kids.
Allegedly.
He couldn't even fiddle himself. The dude barely any fucking function. First of all, tell me how this guy got to the island. Which nurses and construction workers building the ramp on that island? This guy was so talented. People are just like, it's fine. It's fine. He knows more about black holes than everybody else. It's fine.
Yeah.
He just got forgiven. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's foul. But he was that smart. So he had,
but there's a lot. Speaking of Epstein Island, there's a lot of people on that list. Bill Clinton, a lot of political celebrities.
You're surprised that was Bill Clinton?
I did not do it, right? Or whatever he said. I did not have sex with that woman.
I did not have sex with that.
Hey, look at that. Voice acting coming out. But the Epstein Island thing also coming out in the last few years and everything behind that, all the documentaries, and obviously what's going on currently with Diddy, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be. It's just such a weird time. Like that.
Well, I hope they get locked up. And it sets a precedent for like, yo, don't, just because you're talented, even if they have like that creativity and they have that weird temptation and they want to go that far, if the like repercussions are there and they've seen people get fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Like, you know, carrot and the stick. They've never had the stick. Like these guys have been super powerful, famous, get away with whatever the fuck we want to do. So they do whatever the fuck they want to do. And there's no repercussions. Now it's like, hey, cool. It doesn't matter how rich or famous you are. You can be P. Diddy, guy who's literally been on top of the game for forever. Biggie Smalls till now.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, cool. Like, hey, if this guy can get hit, you can get hit.
Actually, just bring up Biggie Smalls. And I don't know if this means anything. I think it was 25 years to the day that Life After Death was released is when the raids happened. Again, a lot of conspiracy
coincidence. You know, these fucking FBI officers give a shit when the fuck Biggie Smalls album came out.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to fuck with him on this day because he's going to be celebrating.
On purpose, right? Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to come out of it. But obviously, the celebrity lifestyle, the Illuminati, we'll say that, you know, buzzword. Who knows what these guys are doing behind the scenes? But when you have so much power and so much money, you also get bored, right? Like the hustle
again
is great, but you also
I'll
need
go allegedly for
do.
that. Like, yo, there's a lot of famous fucking people. They're not all doing weird shit. You know what I mean? One of the best things I ever saw was look how the richer a person is, they dress. Like
they dress down.
They dress down.
Yeah.
Black t-shirt, jeans. Mark Zuckerberg looks a little weird, but I never heard any like real allegations about that dude. That guy's in like a university hoodie and jeans every time you see him. He's like one of the richest people on the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they usually have their indulgences, cars, houses, whatever the fuck. They're like, you know, they have that much money. Do whatever you want with it. But that's such a bullshit cop. Like, there's other famous people in the world and they're not doing weird shit. You can be a famous person and not do weird shit.
It's I guess the weird realm comes just because you're bored as well, right? Like you've achieved so much in life. What else can you do? You've already had the girls, you've had the yachts, you've had the, you know, trips to Saint-Tropez, everything else. What else is there to do in life, right? And like, even look with Jeff Bezos and all these guys going to space. Like,
yeah, cool. That's not weird. Do that.
No, but
ain't nothing illegal about going to space.
Nothing illegal about it, but in terms of just trying to find something to do with your time, something like you've achieved everything in life.
The issue is
we still have goals, right? We have so much that we want to do.
I get that, but these guys need to be like, they're going to be reprimanded. I think the good thing is because it's a chain. Because what is happening is they're talking about like Diddy, whatever trauma ignited Diddy to fucking be do all this foul shit, or if he's just born that way or was groomed that way, whoever gives a fuck. And then there's a chain of people that they're talking about underneath him, like actors and stuff and singers that were following suit, and they're indulging as well because he traumatized them, and then they're traumatizing these next fucking people, and it's just like a chain of it. It needs to be broken, and that's what these repercussions to be huge.
Yeah,
Like, it
it's
needs
a
to be
vicious
like
cycle.
fuck around and find out kind of thing. Like, it's all that stuff. You know, like the toughest guy to party, and he's like, oh my God, like, and he gets knocked out once. He's real nice after that. Like, he just needs to be like dealt with. Like, yeah, nobody really wants to fuck around as long as like somebody holds them in check.
True. Very fair. So you did mention something about your stand-up, and I know you've been doing more stand-up this year. Goals for 2024. I want to ask you, because I've never really, outside of maybe going to Yuck Yucks one time, what is it like when you go to these open mic nights? How are you treated? Do you get access to the green room? What are the crowds like?
It depends on the club. Smaller the club, the less amenities and stuff. Of course, some places have a green room or a place for us to chill. It's usually not as glamorous as it sounds. It's like a fucking curtain. And then we're just like chilling back there. And we're trying to be quiet because you're trying to be like respectful for the guys that are on stage before you. But really, it's a process. Hey, man, like if you don't have any clout or name, like I don't, you show up, you put your name down at 7, 8 p.m. or whenever their cutoff time is. And then you just sit and wait. They usually ask you to like buy drinks or something because you have to like, they need to make money.
Yeah.
So like you're not there for free. Like regardless if you're performing. Obviously, if you're getting paid, it's different. I've had a handful of those in my lifetime, but like not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's like, cool, just chill here. Here's your time slot. You have 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of people think I'm going up there to do stand up. I'm going to be up there for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a special, man. That takes working up to. You go, that's the Netflixes, that's the YouTube, that's Prime, wherever you see it. Back in the day, you know, Comedy Central. Mm-hmm. That's where specials and stuff come out. For me, it's just like, yo, sit in the fucking corner until I get there, and I'm sitting there for like 4 hours, and they're probably like going to pronounce my fucking name wrong. And they're just like, hey, Navi Ray, can Navi Ray, yeah, come to the stage. And I'm like, hi guys, my name is Navi Ryan. Like, we don't give a shit. Start making us laugh.
That's a good introduction once you hit the stage. Well,
actually, it's all good. It's all good. It's honestly in Toronto, you're pretty good. The farther out you get, it gets a little rough. But yeah, man, I'm doing a showcase on the 21st April with Second City. So I'm doing like a kind of a class. It's basically like networking. You build jokes with other comics. One guy who's like a senior comic leads it, and then you get to showcase, and then you get to network, and you get to join like an institution. Second City's dope because it's in LA, Toronto, and New York.
Chicago as well, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that closed, but I guess like big cities get it. Toronto is one of the biggest art cities in the world, so I'm very blessed to be here. But it's cool, man. That's really what it is. You show up, crack some jokes. 90% of it is failing. I show up. Again, my brain works different than an average guy. Like, that's why I think I can do this, and that's why I think I can make people laugh. I'll go say some horrendous shit. I've said some horrendous shit on the podcast, and then you check me.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You let the audience check you, right? I say something foul, whether it's creeping like these lines with Diddy or whatever the case may be. I think I said something along the lines of my last set of there's like a new nursery rhyme came out for the first time in my lifetime. I don't know if that's exciting for you guys, but exciting for me. I heard it has like a hip hop beat on it. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's called Baltimore Bridges Falling Down.
Oh my God. Too soon, brother.
Yeah.
Too soon.
But it's fine. You only have a window for that kind of joke, right? Like, that's not relevant in like 2 months. You know what I mean? But I went and said that, you get a reaction's a reaction. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
so have you used that joke?
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. You use it for a couple of weeks. Like, it's for like a month, as long as it's relevant in the news and stuff, people will be like, oh, this guy's edgy, whatever. You say it, you take it, you change your inflections. That's basically what the process is. And then when you have like a bigger show, like my showcase, then I have perfected those jokes by the time I get on stage.
So what was the reaction from the crowd when you dropped it for the first time?
It was a groan.
Yeah.
It was a groan and then a laugh afterwards. It's like, I see what you did there. We didn't see that one coming. I'm like, all right, cool.
That's it. You got to hit
it. It worked out. Actually, that one worked out better for me than most first times with jokes.
So what are you building up to? Are you building up to like work on it like a 30-minute set, a 15-minute set?
Yeah, man. No, I want to work up, get a manager. Obviously, like we have everything with Frequency, and they handle all my wedding stuff and parties that I do around North America. But to get like a manager, work out jokes, travel, do stand-up, that would be like my dream job. Yeah. You know, just like kick it around the world, just telling jokes. I'm like, love it.
Yeah.
I'm not a tied down kind of guy. If I need to just like travel for my whole life, it's fine. I can live out of hotel rooms. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you've been telling me that as well. So watching Just Rain's show, Late Bloomer, which is pretty good. You guys should check it out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as funny as I expected per se, but it was good. There was some like deep messaging in there, and really kind of a behind the scenes of probably what he went through and why he stepped away for a minute. But within that, in one episode, he was trying to get a manager. Obviously, it was like a whitewashed Desi guy, and he told him to change his whole persona and the whole deal. But it was cool to see the journey of like, it's just not easy. You can't just say, hey, management company. My name's Navi Rai. Here's my Instagram. Sign me up. Like there's a process to that. So like, have you jumped into that?
Yeah. So it's weird because of our success in like the wedding industry, and it's hard to turn down money.
Yeah.
It's really hard to turn down money. Like I was doing stand-up from like 20 to 25. And then I hosted a friend's wedding, and that's where my wedding industry like career took off because somebody saw me, they thought I did a good job. I got hired.
Yeah.
When you're making pennies doing something that you like really care about, but then you're like, hey, this thing I love weddings too. Don't get me wrong. We are very blessed. I get to have fun. I've always loved Indian weddings. They're super fun, but it's like not the same gratification for me.
Yeah.
And I love weddings and I love being part of people's big days. Honestly, that's the best part of our job. Like, I get to make people's like biggest night of their life, like amazing. Dope.
Facts.
Very happy to be here. Thank you so much for, paying me to do this. This is for me like a really cool gig. I can't do it for forever.
Yeah.
Right. We have an expiration date on it. So I'm like, I need to build up the other things because if I ever stop emceeing, I need it to scratch the itch of performing. I can't stop. So with this, like you have to do the work and build up your portfolio.
Yeah.
Hey, record yourself. Get somebody to come record me do stand up. Have that stuff online or in a digital portfolio that when I go to management places, hey, here's my body of work. You guys like it? Sell me. Mm-hmm. And once you get your first foot in the door, it's usually like you're started. Like as long as you're putting in work and getting better and doing it, you're fine. But if you're just like some lazy ass bitch and you're like, I think I'm funny. It's like, all right, cool. Prove that you're funny. Nobody gives a fuck if you are actually funny. You have to prove that you're funny. Prove that you're talented. Oh, you're the best singer in your shower? Cool, man. Make a fucking mixtape. Go over there. You got to invest money, invest time in yourself. Otherwise, you're just like the guy who fucking thought. You think you're funny? Go prove that you're fucking funny.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You got to prove it in everything. But a thought just came to my mind as you were talking about our expiration date. And
yours is closer than mine, obviously. But like,
of course. He's always got to throw that joke in every podcast. We should make that a segment presented by someone. But, thinking about stepping away at some point, that adrenaline rush that we got, I just did a gig on the weekend. This was a busy weekend for all of us. Yeah. You get home and like, you're so pumped up with that natural adrenaline, especially when you kill it. You got to stay humble, but you get all these compliments. You killed it. It's amazing. The couple's happy, all that good stuff, all that energy you feel. Like, I'm going to miss that at some point when I have to step away from all of this, because I don't have something like you where I'm a stand-up comic and I'm going to continue to get that love, adulation, all that kind of good stuff. It's something I do need. And like when wedding season is kind of non-existent, like in the winter months, although this year was kind of crazy with February, but you miss it. Like you miss that pump that you get on the weekends, right?
We're attention whores. Like that's the thing. Anybody who does a performance thing, like we don't need to dress it up. We do it because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like make some noise and oh my God, everybody's cheering for me. Yay, cool. Like that feels wicked.
Yeah.
Somebody coming up to me at a wedding and being like, shaking my hand and be like, yo, you like killed it. Thank you for making my son or daughter's wedding, or the bride and groom giving you a hug. Like that, like, hey, I just was myself and I got praise for it. We enjoy that. That's why we do
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
Anybody who says it differently, like I always say it, like they're bullshitters. Like if you're an MC and you're like humble, you're a piece of shit. You suck. I don't think you're a good MC. You're humble? No, we do it because we think we're good at it.
Yeah. You got to think you're the best. But that's in like every discipline, right? Every photographer, any musician, we're very blessed that, we know a lot of them. You got to think you're the best. Otherwise, it's not going to exude that confidence, that riz, as the kids say, is not going to be out there, right?
Show your age more, buddy. Fucking shit.
All right, whatever. This guy, always the same jokes over and over.
The same jokes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just found out who should sponsor that segment. It's fucking Rogaine, buddy.
Rogaine.
What the fuck? Get out of here.
Buddy, turkey first.
Yeah. No, but I think you'll find something. I don't think anybody can do what we do and just stop cold turkey.
Yeah.
We're in like, I'm maybe second generation of MCs.
Yeah.
Like you're in the first of like the guys that started like 2 or 3 years before me. And I think it's like, I've had people like, oh, when are you going to stop? And those guys are like, yo, I'm going to stop next year. I'm going to stop next year. It just never comes because
they haven't stopped.
Honestly. You get the itch, man. Like you can't, every one of those guys and they're all amazing. It's just like, yo, dude, like you get better every year that you do this. I'm good as I am. I'm better now than I was last year. And I'm going to be better next year than I am this year. So you're like, how am I supposed to like leave when I'm at the top of my game every year?
Yeah.
And go to nothing. I think for me, it might be easier because if I find success somewhere else, I do voice acting. which is it's still not the same adulation. Like it's not like a live audience work, but if stand up even just like kicks off like 10%, that'll scratch the itch. If I go once a month, twice a month, open mic nights, whatever, or like sets where people are paying me to come out, like that's, you know, the dream. The itch is scratched. I'm happy. I can do whatever job.
Do you get that same feeling though when you walk off stage and you've killed it?
It's a bigger high, man.
Yeah,
it's like
explain it, because obviously I've never felt it.
It's your own material. Like weddings isn't our material. Like as much as
speak for yourself, my material is all original. Everyone's copied me.
Yeah.
But anyways,
allegedly. No, because like we work off of pleasing. Like we're not that PG or G rated.
Yeah.
Like we're not those dudes. We're not like happy-go-lucky dudes on the night. Like when people like come up and talk to me and my voice isn't, "What's up, ladies and gentlemen, MCW Ryan," and it's back to this.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you don't sound the same." I'm like, "Duh, I'd be a crackhead walking around like that all the time." I swear more, obviously. Like I've sworn probably a bunch on this today, and like that's just like that's my normal personality. I'm selling that when I do stand up. My like weird and quirky personality of cracking jokes, roasting each other like we do.
Of course.
Like that's my normal pace. Weddings are more like family friendly. And that's a part of my personality. Like I'm more than happy to shut off the swearing and make parents and family members feel good and us have a good time. But that's not like, it's a lot of it's repetitive. Make some noise. Here we go. We're going to do A, B, and C. Like there's a formula to it and we perfect that formula. Stand up is like, all right, cool. Here's 3 jokes that are like a 10-minute set. I go, I fail. I tweak it, perfect it, kill it. And all that hard work is just like all that work builds
because
up,
of that build up, right?
Smash it. And then now do it again.
Yeah.
And it's unique every single time because I'm not talking about the same material. All right, cool. I did the London Bridge, Baltimore Bridge kind of thing. I did P. Diddy stuff. I'm not going to be talking about that next year. I'm going to have new stuff to talk about. So like it's continuous, like new gratification. Whereas at a wedding, it's always going to be make the bride and groom happy, which is our job.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're building these sets. Like, do you ever have jokes that go year over year and like, because they always kill you might as well use them in every set? Or is it always about developing a new set?
Yeah, you know, if I can, there's shit that works. If I'm in like a super white crowd, I'm going to crack some joke. Like it works for them, right? Like I've done jokes on like Oshawa and stuff, which is like, you know, hour out of Toronto and crowd's super white. And I feel super like out of place because I'm the only person to call color. And maybe I'll go say something about being like, hey, I really hope another colored person shows up because according to horror movie rules, I'm the first one to die. You know what I mean? Something like that's going to come out of my mouth or some sort of repetition to get me in the rhythm or just to fill in or like a non sequitur kind of thing. The weird thing is about this whole like celebrity thing, just to like kind of like circle back to it for half a second, is even like recently Kansas City Chiefs like rookie Rashee Rice, this guy got caught on a dash cam, drag racing. It was crazy. Like a high-end Corvette versus a Lamborghini on the highway, like not in like an empty street. Like there's like other cars. He crashes into 2 other cars.
Oh shit!
Then flees the scene.
How stupid do you have to be? Call your agent, man.
Buddy, the guy's on my fantasy team. I'm fucked. Like I'm just obviously like, you know, that's not the important thing. But you know what I mean? Like I'm like sitting here, I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just a thing of like too much power for guys to have. And it like corrupts them. Like everybody always says that like fucking, they're a celebrity, they should know better. I'm like, how are they going to know better? They're like 19, 20-year-olds. They don't know anything. They just have millions of dollars and all the freaking freedom in the world.
Yeah.
Like I always say it all the time. Like I liked Justin Bieber better as a person than a musician until like Sorry came out. People were like, what do you mean? Like, we're about the same age. So he's like drag racing cars and buying monkeys. And I'm like, yo, if I had millions of dollars, what else would I do at 19 or 18 or 17 at a young ass age? Right?
Yeah, because like, what is a parent going to say to you when you're feeding the whole family and generations, right?
Yeah. You're the breadwinner and you're going to generations even past you are going to be fed off of your skills and success.
Yeah.
And it's like, they get all this power. There needs to be some sort of like, I don't know, management of these celebrities in a way of like, for their own good. Like Allen Iverson got saved by his manager who did that. Like, hey, you don't get like $50 million of your Reebok money until you're 50 years old.
Yeah. I think it was 40.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like,
kept it on the side
when you're an adult, here's this big chunk of money. And then he's like famous. He's one of those famous celebrities who blew a lot of money. Jewelry, cars, partying, all the access that comes with being the man. And it's just really fucking wild. They're like, these guys have no sense. Like getting caught up in driving recklessly, endangerment, drugs. You can be the most famous rapper in the world and get caught up with fucking gun charges.
Yo, if I had that much money, I wouldn't even drive. Like, honestly,
Oh,
I would have a
100%.
driver. What, like, you're going to be in situations
hate
where you're
driving.
drinking and
Hate it.
doing stuff, and you're in these big cities. There's so much traffic. Fuck it, man. Hire a chauffeur. What's wrong with you?
Right? Like that means this celebrity got caught with a DUI.
Why? How?
Why were you even
How is that
driving
even-
yourself? You have so much money.
Yo, how is that even possible? Drinking and driving when you're a celebrity. It makes no sense.
It's the stupidest charge ever. Like, hey, cool. Hey, car service. You know, I'm like the most famous actor in the world. Can I get a car?
Yeah, no problem.
They're gonna be like, yes, sir. Do you want a discount? Like, he doesn't even have to pay full rate.
Yeah.
Like, you're ridiculous. Oh, like Raptors buddy.
Oh,
Fucking. Hey, I'm being paid money to be on the bench. Here's a gambling charge.
all right. So we're talking about Jonte Porter. I think
Dumb
that's the
bitch.
opposite side of things, though, because my man is on a $400,000 a year salary. Now that sounds like a lot. It is a lot of money for regular people, but remember, like 50 to 55% between agent fees, tax, regular people taxes, jock taxes when you play in the States is pretty much gone. So, you know, my guy maybe is taking home $250 a year.
That's still more than enough money to live on. If you're, because these guys, that's his salary.
Yeah.
Like, he can still, even at his level, get some level of endorsement.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be a lot of it, but even then, like, it's like acting like when you're on a sports team, you're riding the bench, your entry level position, and you're comparing your life to the CEO, which is the star player on your team.
So the crazy,
You have to live within your fucking means. Just because you're doing the same thing, like Jeff Bezos gets to do different shit than the guy who packs packages at the Amazon fucking call center. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, look at it that way. Like, oh, but I'm a basketball player too. Not the same. Like, your brother's more famous and he can pay your bills too. So I know
His
you're
brother
fine.
is Michael Porter Jr.,
Yeah.
NBA champ from last year from the Denver Nuggets. You know, obviously we don't know what their situation is, if he's hooking a brother up, but probably.
I'm not saying
We
yes
don't
or
know
no.
if Jonte Porter actually bet on games, but here's the thing for those of the people who don't know the background. One game in January and one game in March, basically his under, so you can bet on over under. Basically, they'll say, they'll list 7.5 points. DeJounte Porter is going to score either less or more, over under. On both of those days, his under was the highest bets placed, the most monetarily on both those days. On what we're saying is what, the 8th guy on the Raptors, the 10th guy on the Raptors?
10th. I think officially like 10th on the roster.
That you can bet on. Like, it would usually be a LeBron, or even, let's just say the Raptors, you know, it's going to be Scotty Barnes or someone where all the money's going.
Well, you're a bigger Raptors basketball
Yeah.
person, I should say, than me. Does he like do well off the bench like that? Like, does he like, maybe there's like, is there like a trend? Like, oh, he was doing very well off the bench, so maybe like, or he was doing very poor off the bench, so people are like, we're just gonna bet the under.
So he's actually, until this all happened, probably the only feel-good story of the year for the Raptors. They are absolutely terrible this year. It is a rebuild year. We got rid of OG, Pascal. You know, it's a complete rebuild around Scotty Barnes. So Jonte Porter was actually a feel-good story because this guy who had this crazy injury in college, obviously lived under the shadow of his brother, finally made it into an NBA rotation after years, kind of out of nowhere at an older age, 25, maybe 26 years old. And then this hits. Would the money go to him? I don't think so. I mean, like, he was playing good, but again, the most money in North America on DraftKings or FanDuel was on him. Makes absolutely no sense
Also,
out of all the other NBA players that there are.
Yeah. So also,
And on 2 days, not 1 day.
yeah, I
this
know.
season.
It's 2 times he was supposed to play and had an injury of some sort or whatever the case.
No, but
may
he's
be.
smart. It wasn't just an injury. What he did is he wasn't on the injury report.
No, I know. So he
Yeah.
mid game or whatever. He's like he
played
clocked in
2
for
to 3
2
minutes. Yeah.
and then he's like, oh, my tummy hurts, and then he left or whatever, right?
My tummy hurts.
But like whatever, you know,
Yeah.
right? Paul Pierce it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But you know, it just the weird thing about it to me is like, you're dumb if you're getting like, how many people are you telling that you're the most bet on guy?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not playing. Was he sending out a broadcast message? Is he in his massive WhatsApp? What
There's
the fuck
obviously
is
going to be
on?
more to the story. We don't know, again, if he's the mastermind of this.
No,
I
I'm
do
not talking about
doubt
him
that.
being dumb. I'm being whoever. He didn't do this. He was somebody got like if he did it again allegedly.
Yeah.
This one I'll give an allegedly. Like, this is less likely than
Make sure you
Diddy
stick around to the end for our paying attention question. The most used word today, allegedly. Yeah.
whatever. These guys, no, but the issue with it is like whoever was doing it,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, we're going to focus all of this on some no-name players. So obviously, like, flags
But
are going
that's
to get
what
raised.
exactly. That's what the flags did get
Where
raised
it's
by
like,
DraftKings.
excuse me, like, how is LeBron not the most bet on player? How is Steph Curry not the most bet on player? First of all, how's this guy the most even bet on player
on the
Raptors?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know Michael Porter had a brother until he got on the Raptors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, you know, like the playback happens of like, oh yeah, I remember like an injury from college or something. Like, you remember reading in a report, but it's not like he was like a prevalent dude in my brain.
No, he wasn't like an elite draft prospect or anything to that nature. But it brings into question, like, we all have a FanDuel or DraftKings account, right? Pretty much, or MGM, whatever the case is now. Everyone I know bets on sports, ages 18 to 60 years old, basically, if you can use a phone. We all have a couple $100 in there, maybe a couple $1,000. But the leagues, the major four leagues, the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, and MLB have all accepted and brought in, right? There's official sponsors for the NBA, be it DraftKings or be it FanDuel. So did they bring this upon themselves? Is this happening more in the other sports as well? And we just haven't heard about it as of yet. And it's not going to happen to the elite athletes. It's not going to happen to Steph Curry making, whatever he's making. Dame Lillard is making $63 million next year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen to these number 10 to 12 guys, or in football, the 47th guy on the roster. It's always going to be the guys who are not making millions of dollars.
I think it comes down to institutionally, like, setting these guys up for success. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, hey man, we get that you want to be Steph Curry. Everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
You make X amount of money. You can't do that. You can't be out with the star players and team. But here's the thing is, even like, it's like in the culture of all these sports teams, that the guy who makes the most money usually pays.
Yeah.
Right. If they're all out together doing something, it's kind of like, hey, like, yo, we'll handle it. You know what I mean?
It's implied, right?
Right. Like, even in the NFL, there's a tradition, like around Christmas time, the quarterback buys his offensive lineman like extravagant gifts,
like rollies and
golf carts, Rolexes, Louis V, whatever the case may be, just to be like, yo, you protect my ass all year, and I get paid. I'm the highest paid position on our team.
Yeah.
This past year, Brock Purdy, lowest paid guy on his team because he's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep.
Right?
Last pick in the
draft. And the running back stepped up. Right, Christian McCaffrey, who is the highest paid running back at the time in the league. I'll buy those gifts, right? Like, that was like a smart thing. Like, Purdy still has a roommate. He's in the NFL. That guy's smart.
Yeah.
He's like, my contract says I make this much money.
I mean, he's going to get paid at some point.
He's playing very well, but he's just like, that's what you need. You don't need I'm going to bet on myself, or I'm going to get caught doing this, or I'm going to do this. Bro, just because you have some sort of celebrity doesn't mean you should act any different than a dude doing a job.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the more successful I get, the more successful I get, maybe I use my money differently. But I live within my means because that's my means. Mm-hmm. And I think these guys just, like, it's not taught them. They're just like, yo, be the best person. Like, support our family. Do all this. It's like, yo, be a little selfish. Support yourself. Figure out, like, obviously, like, if your mom and dad are like, do what you can.
Yeah.
But, like, don't get caught doing
But I think my point is just, like, the temptation is there now. Before, when gambling was illegal, baseball, Pete Rose, one of the greatest players in the history of baseball, is not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame because he bet on games. We don't even know if he bet on Cincinnati Red games, but he bet on games. Facts. You're out. And he's been out for 50 years. A guy who definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But now, with all of the four major leagues accepting gambling, like you said, institutionalized, it's cool. In hockey games at Scotiabank Arena, you see it on the side, DraftKings, this, that, on the boards. It's all over everyone. And, like, when the temptation's there and you're making $250, $400, which again sounds like a lot of money, but you're around
to your
people.
peers. It's not. I completely understand.
Peers.
But they need to be, like, said to them that, like, yo, you're not that. Like, it's fine. It's fine. You're also still getting paid a lot of money to play basketball. Like, that is, and I'm not trying to take away from that at all. I love sports. I'm just saying, like, yo, you're the secretary, they're the CEO. Your lifestyles can't be the same.
But so I think it falls more on the leagues then. The leagues need to...
No, yeah. Well, like, yo, look at the NFL. NFL does not mess around with gambling.
Yeah.
And gambling's also been a way bigger part of the NFL than other sports for a long time. Like, fantasy football is unreal. Like, they put up fantasy football points on your screen as you're watching a game. Like, no other sport really does that. Or they've started to. Mm-hmm. It'll be like, quarterback, Joe Burrow for the Cincinnati Bengals, scored 2 touchdowns and fucking 200 yards. And you're like, all right, cool. 24 points of fantasy, like, on your screen.
Yeah.
To, like, it's like promoted. But they also have, like, the most suspensions that I know of gambling. Calvin Ridley famously, like, wasn't even betting on games like
He was
2
doing
years
props.
ago.
He was doing prop betting,
But
as
he
well.
wasn't even playing. It wasn't even like he
And it wasn't
playing.
even props on his own
It was his
team.
team. It was,
or
his
was
team.
his team?
He just
Okay.
wasn't playing. Like he was hurt or injured or he had like mental health issues. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, you're gone for a year. Bye. Again, the hammer has to be there. I like,
hammer has to be thrown
the
down.
repercussion has to be there to knock you on your ass.
Like, I don't see Jonte Porter playing for the rest of the season. I think there's only like 9 games left.
I really hope he's not guilty. Like
Yeah.
maybe like, people were
But
doing
the
it.
circumstantial evidence is crazy. Like 2 days, both games, he's not on the injury report and he just pulls himself out of the games. Again, not the trainer saying, yo, fam, you have a little wonky ankle or something. No, one was, I think my tummy hurts. The other one was my eyes. There's something wrong with my eyes or something, but not listed previously before the
Well,
game.
and again, maybe like maybe he's the one who's bringing this, like, hey, I'm going to do this, or somebody's bringing it to him.
Yeah.
Or again, maybe somebody on the staff of the Raptors. Again, I hope not. They're our team. Like,
Oh, man.
just being like, knowing about it and thinking that he's not going to play. Being like, yeah, it's fine. We don't need to put you on the injury report. Yeah, it's okay. We don't need to put you on the injury report.
Yeah.
And then he goes in for like 2 minutes, like, yo, like, I'm busted. Like, I have food poisoning. Like,
I mean, I hope it's that somehow, but
I was, they're a home team. I don't want a scandal to be around them.
well, at least ESPN's covering us again for the first time since 2019, right? There was no Raptor talk for the last 4 years. All of a sudden, we're
that whole
20 wins,
all
but we
press
have
is good press is not against you.
Not
I'd rather
necessarily
not fucking have that shit.
in this case. And I know we spoke about this before on the podcast, but Toronto does get a lot of hate recently on social media and all over the world, just kind of due to our mass immigration and what's going on. But we see that reflected again. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that point, but we do see it reflected in customer service recently. And I think you just had a pretty interesting experience.
I was getting a coffee on the way fucking here, man. It's fucking annoying. It puts a bad light on all of us.
Yeah.
Like anybody who are like first generation kids here, or even like our parents. Like I know what my parents wouldn't do this, but I was just like in line at Tim Hortons getting a coffee.
Yeah.
I see some movement in my rear view. I look to the back and this guy's dumping multiple cups of coffee out of his window.
What?
Onto the ground. Like just like we're out of Tim Hortons. You know what's out of every fast food restaurant? There's a fucking garbage.
There's like 3.
Or ask I've done this, gone up to the window. I have like an empty Tim's cup.
Yeah.
I left it in my car from like the day before. Like, hey, do you mind throwing this out? Usually if it's the same brand, they don't care. Like they're not going to toss out like a McDonald's cup or whatever, but they'll be like, all right, yeah, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
Right? Or, get out of your car and say, this guy's dumping jaw onto the ground. And I'm just like, that's going to smell. That's gross. Like, that's nasty. Like, what are you doing, buddy? And then the issue is then you reason like why we get looked at by like other people as being like gross.
Yeah.
Or like there's something wrong, or like we don't have etiquette. We have etiquette. Most of us do. It's just like the handful of dudes doing nasty shit like that. Or I'm like, yo, I can't even fucking get like looked at by like a girl that's not brown the same way. I'm on a dating app because they see me, but they smell him. It's some bullshit, dog. Like it's not, it's not funny. It's just like, it's weird. Cause like you're a reflection of like the worst dude on your team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what the Raptors, he's like him doing that is a reflection on the team.
Yep.
Right? Like the worst Indian dude you see is the reflection on me.
On all of us.
Yeah, because, that's who you saw before you met me. So you're automatically assuming it. Every MC, like we get judged sometimes because they saw a guy who maybe isn't that good.
Yo, I've had clients ask me, are you cringe? Like,
Yeah.
that's the first thing. Do you do cringy shit at your gigs? I'm like, actually, that's my tagline. I do anything but cringy shit. And it's because they've seen that out there. So your perception always is going to be the worst.
Yeah.
People are not all educated on different.
But it's not even just like
nationalities and
customer
stuff.
service or
Yeah.
etiquette, but like
Customer service?
The watches, you talked about this on the last episode about like car theft, and then you got hit yourself.
Yeah, man. Since our last podcast, actually, my car got jacked from my driveway at like 5:45 in the morning, which I'm surprised they would even go that late. You would think it would be like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. 17 seconds in and out. These guys were so fucking professional. Lexus, you guys got to fucking fix your cars. Lexus and Toyota, too easily stolen. All you got to do is go into the, I don't want to give this information, but basically the front headlamp, and you can jack the car really quickly. It opens everything up. I don't know how they get in the ignition or whatever.
They use like the SIN number or some shit.
VIN number.
Yeah. SIN. Or they do something like that. I've seen so many videos now of just like they drive by.
Yep.
Guy walks by, takes like a picture through like the front
window.
The front window. I have a brain fart today.
Yeah.
But the front window, and then come back like 10 seconds later, and they have like a little gizmo to open up your Jordan like emulates your key
And
fob.
that's what they did. It's crazy. I can't obviously post the video, but yeah, 17 seconds, totally jacked it. You know,
Bullshit.
I'm thinking I'm moving on. Already started making deals on a new car. Insurance company had this whole weird thing about, you know, your car might get recovered. So for 15 days, we can't pay you out. I'm like, cool. Let me be proactive. Obviously, we're super busy. Got a lot of shit going on. Let me line up another car. New Year's Eve, 11:52. 8 minutes before New Year's, we're out in Blue Mountain with the family, having fun. Blue Mountain, they do all the fireworks and whatnot at 12. It's a vibe. I get these 3 private calls in a row. I'm like, there's no fucking telemarketer calling me right now. I'm hoping not, at least, right? And the telemarketers are smart now. They kind of mask their numbers, and you get these 416 and 905.
If I ever get a goddamn call and the first 3 numbers are my phone number, I'm picking up a call.
The first 3 digits, yeah.
It's bullshit.
That's one of the new scams they're running. But yeah, I get the third time I pick up, and I'm like, I tell my wife too. I'm like, I think this is the police. I don't know why. I'm just getting it. It's weird that they're so persistent on New Year's Eve. Hey, sir, great news. And this was from. So I live in York region, but this was a call from Metropolitan Toronto police, and they're like, we've recovered your car. I'm like, oh wow, crazy. My car was stolen on December 17th. I didn't expect that. Like in 2 days, I'm about to get the check from insurance and, you know, move on to buying a new car. Oh no, we've recovered it. You know, we've actually had it since like 3 days after it was reported stolen. I'm like, so what the fuck were you guys doing for the last 10 days? Oh, we're super busy because so many cars are stolen, but we've done a full investigation, fingerprints, the whole 9. I'm like, okay, cool. Goes to their fucking impound lot. Obviously, I had to deal with it after New Year's. I have to get it. I actually informed York Region Police that my car was recovered. So there's nothing going on between the two polices, both in the GTA. So that's wild as it is. And then I go to inspect my car because you got to do a walk around, see what's in the car, etc. Golf clubs got stolen. Sucks, but all not good vibes for the golf season. But yeah, so
that hurts me more than the car.
Straight up, man, straight up. I do the walk around. Guess what's in my car after they've done their investigation? 3 key fobs: a Mercedes key fob, a Ferrari key fob, and a Corvette key fob are still in my fucking car after they've done their investigation. Because it was
great
super
job,
thorough.
Toronto Police.
Yes,
great job.
Seriously. And like, I'm just shocked here. So I call the York Region Police officer that, you know, had my case or whatever. Good dude. Obviously spent some time on the phone with me or whatnot. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? He's like, yeah, basically that means that they were using your car to steal other cars. Like, and there was even more and more nefarious activity going on. Luckily, I canceled so not only do you have to report your car stolen, so it's such a fucking hassle, and obviously a lot of people who are probably watching this have gone through it. You also have to report your license plate stolen separately from your car, because if anything happens with your license plate, and I'm not just talking toll charges, but if like these guys clearly use my car for other fucking criminal activities, I would still be liable. How fucked up is that? Like, I'm the victim here.
My favorite thing ever was Toronto Police releasing the thing of like, maybe just leave your keys by the front door.
Yeah. That was a real thing.
So like, help them steal my car? Yeah. What about like a lockbox? It's like, but they can harm you and take your shit. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. So your solution is lose your car? I mean, your livelihood depends on getting around the city and like getting things done.
Absolutely.
It's just so absurd. Are you seeing these freaking like poles coming out of the ground in people's driveways now?
Yo, I just saw that, and it does sound like a good solution. I mean, I don't have a fucking Bentley, so I'm not going to get it, but because the cost of it.
Yeah, it's obviously ridiculous. Crazy, but like, even just like the, what's that thing called where you
club.
The club. Whatever, you club it across your steering wheel.
Yeah.
We have a guy on our team that does that because the poor guy got his car stolen.
Yeah.
This guy lost his, and here's my favorite thing about that story. Our buddy's Wrangler, right?
Yeah.
Wrangler gets grabbed out of his driveway, missing for months, gets the claim from insurance, obviously process the whole process, gets a new car. He's like just enjoying himself. He's like, all right, cool, whatever. It was an annoying process. Gets a call from some guy because this guy had a vanity plate.
Yeah.
And he was able to find his like Instagram, gets a DM like, yo, buddy, can you move your car from outside of my house? It's been there for 3 months.
Wow.
Or 4 months or whatever. And he's like, what? That car got what? These dudes just like joyrode it. Or they were like stealing other cars with it.
Probably, yeah.
He literally grabbed it out of his driveway, just like whipped it, left it. He's like, buddy, everything was there. He's like, nothing was like taken out of my car.
That's
crazy. You know, he's just like, he was like there, and they're like, hey, do you want to like keep this car? He's like, no, I feel violated. This is gross.
Yeah.
Get this thing out of here. So he's just like out of his life. And now he uses like I was at a gig with them and he's just like
puts the club on. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to do necessarily. Unfortunately, these guys are super high tech and professional, but it just goes to Toronto. I think there's just the cost of living is so wild right now and everything is so fucking expensive. And we have this mass immigration. So people got to get money however they can. And that's what's happening in Toronto right now, unfortunately.
I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid and fucking dumb. I don't know. The amount of stories where like, I put an AirTag in my car and I called them and told them it was in Montreal and they did nothing. And I called them and they went to the
jurisdiction.
Port. Yeah, and it did nothing. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, can somebody help me? And they're like, and then the AirTag turned back on and it was in Africa. And you're like, Jesus Christ. There's nothing to it. I don't know, man.
Wild, man. Hopefully the situation gets better. Let's see what's popping off in 2024.
All right, one last thing I just want to get to, because I want to hear somebody's perspective from outside of myself. So I'm a wrestling fan for life. Yeah. You might think I'm dorky or a nerd because of it. It's fine. It's just something me and my family have done since I was like a kid. Obviously, Attitude Era was awesome, and we enjoyed that whole thing with The Rock and Stone Cold. But it's just one of those things, like, maybe we don't pay attention as close as we do, but something that we always watch and enjoy. It's not the most popular thing for the last, like, 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
But we all know it. Your moniker itself, the People's Host, is very reminiscent of The Rock himself.
Yeah, it definitely it derives from that. Absolutely.
So I wanted to get your perspective because of what's been happening the last like 4 or 5 months. Is wrestling a little cool again? Or is it a little bit like, at least it's popular? Are you getting it in it because The Rock came back? I feel like people are talking about it without me having to be the instigator.
I think the whole Vince McMahon thing spurred interest in what was going on. Obviously, I hate to say it, yet another like vulgar sex, I'm not going to call it trafficking, but there was sexual abuse and all this shit that came out.
He shit on a girl's head and told her she's not allowed to wipe it off while she got doubled. Of course, it was gross.
Yeah, that was in a text message, so we don't have to say allegedly. But yeah. I think it's popped off, obviously, because they partnered with the UFC as well. Some of the sports gambling things that are coming out, there's a lot of examples to like, so what's the difference between basketball and wrestling if everything's fixed anyways, if we already know who the winner is going to be? So I think the interest in wrestling, and I can speak personally, has peaked a little bit.
Right? I'm not talking about like, obviously it's not like, it's just one of those things where it's like, like my brother is a guy who like, he loved wrestling growing up, but he obviously like fell out of it. Just like, it's not for me. It got too kiddie, this and that. Yeah. But The Rock's promos, he'll like message me like, yo, The Rock was so funny. I'm like, you watch it? He's like, I don't know, it came on my TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, they came on my Instagram and it was jokes. And The Rock called some chick in the audience a fatty. And he was like, it was funny, right? Yeah. Some girl like booed at him. And he's like, he literally like turned out. He's like, shut up before I slap the herpes off your lips, fatty. And I was like, I love this dude. He's so funny.
That's crazy that The Rock can do that, being Dwayne Johnson and being who he is. As movie star. That's amazing.
He's still playing a character. Everybody else is like, yo, it's like, it's not his real self, right? He's literally on the board. You know, TKO is the company that now owns UFC and WWE.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing is they're blending reality and the story. Like the Attitude Era was like, the whole thing was that he came in and took over the main event of WrestleMania, which is this weekend.
Yeah.
And people were pissed because they're like, yo, this guy Cody Rhodes has been building his story for like a year and you guys just like supplanted him like a boss would. Like he's like, you joined the board of TKO, you got the Rock moniker license back. That was a big part of his like contract was like, hey, I own the rights to The Rock now.
The whole
it's not a WWE. Yeah, the whole trademark is his. And they're like, yo, you're just like supplanting yourself in this as like a boss. Like, you're not a good guy. And The Rock's had this as like a thing where it's like, comes into Fast and Furious, takes over. People don't like working with them, blah, blah. Like, they played on that. They played on that kind of image or fake image or whatever that's been out there in the zeitgeist. And they brought it in of like, yeah. And then he slapped the shit out of this guy on live TV, made fun of him, start calling people fucking, he comes out in those old Versace shirts like he used to wear like in the 90s. And you're like, this is genuinely fun entertainment. It's not just like, oh, I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm going to watch this.
No, it's definitely, I think, The Rock itself just being involved, Dwayne Johnson. And I think social media and the clips, the Vince McMahon thing, there's a whole combination of different things that are going on that have put wrestling kind of, or the WWE specifically, back in the headlines. You know, is it going to keep popping off? I'm not sure. But they definitely have had their peak now here in like 2023, 2024.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, WrestleMania's this weekend. We even talked about it like, going to the office, a couple of the guys watching it, because it's just like, yo, it's still fun. Right?
It's just like something to do, right?
Yo,
it's entertainment.
Exactly. People, hey, I'm watching Raw and SmackDown every fucking week. No, WrestleMania, the Rumble, stuff like that. Like, it's an excuse to get together to watch something. And if you don't think watching a guy crash like 40 foot off of a fucking ladder through a table isn't fun, yo, that guy's nuts and it's hilarious. We got guys like Logan Paul involved now. He's the United States champion. Crazy.
Oh, he's the champion right now?
Bro, he's one of the
I didn't know that at all.
That's nuts. Like he has it on his podcast, which is one of the biggest podcasts in the world. Impulsive. He lets it sit right on the table. He's like,
beside his primes.
Yeah, always.
I'm down for a sponsorship, by the way. Let's get that prime going.
Yo, dude, they're the sponsor of the WrestleMania events.
Oh, really?
Events. No, they're the first ever on ring. Like you know how like UFC like on the mat.
It puts like a marquee.
So there's gonna be a big prime bottle thing like marker on the center of the thing.
That's sick.
That dude's creative. He's doing great. But like you know like there's more pop culture with wrestling again. They're inducting Muhammad Ali into the Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
You know, so there's like they're trying to do that cross kind of thing since like Vince McMahon got booted and Triple H took over. So it's kind of
he's still probably running shit behind the scenes.
Yeah, I just want to get your perspective on it because I'm like that's funny. Would you watch it, kind of thing?
Yeah, I might watch WrestleMania with you guys next weekend. Let's see. I don't mind. It's a good time pass. That was another episode of the Mic Check. Hopefully you guys had a great time. Make sure you keep following our journey.
Yeah, man. Always love everybody who tunes in. We appreciate everybody. Hopefully we get to do more episodes.
Yes,
we got a couple more on the locks to get recorded, and this becomes more of a regular thing. Again, cheers to Vision Room Studios. Cheers to them for getting everything recorded for us and always helping us out at this wicked location. Again, tune in.
Let's go. It's the Mic Check where the conversations are always paid in full.